there, this is Jenny from the Sewing Palace, and we're on month 10 from our Double Dozen online quilt along from Kaye England. The book is called Double Dozen, and we are going to work on the block called Pine Burr this month. So here it is featured in our traditional colorway with the purple center, the teal, and then the dark on the outside. They also have this really bright colorway that is out of Kaye fabrics. So I'm going to break down the block a little bit for you and show you how to make it. Alright, so we're ready for the Pine Burr block. It's on page 7 of the Double Dozen book. Let's take a look at the block so you can kind of look at how you would break that block down. It's got a nice big center square in the center. That's cut 6.5, a great place to feature a beautiful fabric for you. And then we've got a medium triangles going around the square, some more triangles of a light, and then dark and light half square triangles, and cute little cornerstones in these outer blocks out of a dark. So here are some fabrics that we've picked for the Kaye colorway. We've got a light, a dark, and 2 mediums probably. This could be a dark against that. It just kind of depends on the contrast. A couple of tools that you will need. You'll need some scissors, a friction pen or some sort of marking utensil that you like to put on fabric, a nice sharp rotary cutter, a wool pressing mat, a nice iron, a half square triangle Bloc Loc ruler. We need to cut these down to a small cut of 2 inches. So this is a 3.5, but you could use anything larger that slides down to 2 inches. You also need some basic cutting rulers, some pins or wonder clips, and the always ever wonderful Best Press. I have this in a mister so that it can disperse the spray a lot more efficiently. Alright, so we're going to break down the Pine Burr block. These are your squares that you're going to be cutting. That center square is cut a nice 6.5 inch square. Great time to cut a focal fabric or one of your favorite fabrics. This medium B triangle is actually cut 7 1/4. It's cut 2 times diagonally as a 1/4 square triangle unit. And then these C's are half square triangle units. They're cut 3 7/8, and then in half 1 time. And then these little cute D's are just cornerstones, and they're cut 2 inches. Then all these other half square triangles, except for these small triangles here, are half square triangle units, a light D and a dark D. So you're going to need a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, plus another 8. So you need a total of 16 half square triangle units. So we're going to use a different method using the Bloc Loc ruler, and it's the 8 at a time half square triangle units. We'll have a link for this document in the description below the video, but you will be making them with 2 fabrics. And what you need to know when you get started on this is what is your finished size. And for this unit, it finishes at 1.5, and you cut 2 squares that are 5 inches by 5 inches. You lay them right sides together, and I'm going to show you how to sew that square unit together and yield your half square triangles next. Alright, so I'm going to show you 8 at a time half square triangle units featuring the Bloc Loc ruler. Right here I have a light and a dark square. I've cut them 5 inches. Prior to cutting, I best pressed them very sufficiently so that they're nice and starched. Then I cut them, and then I'm going to layer them right sides together, and I'm going to use a marking utensil. I'm using a friction pen, and I'm going to mark the diagonal line both directions. So I'll use my ruler and mark that line with a friction pen. Remember, the friction pen will disappear when you iron it, so you just want to be aware of that. Once you've done the marking, you are then going to sew on each side of that line. I've sewn it with a real light colored thread on each side of that line. And then comes the magic. You're going to start cutting, and you will yield 8 of these out of this wonderful square. So let me show you how to cut it. Alright, we are ready to cut our unit. We are going to cut it both this way and on our lines. So this was cut at a 5 inch square. When I line up the 2.5 inch line along the side, that should run right down the center. I will then rotate my block or my ruler. I could use a rotating mat to do that. And then I will cut this direction. Make sure my squares are all together still. And then I'm going to cut right on that line. And so when I do that, and I cut on all those solid lines, you will then have the magic of having 8 of these half square triangle units. How cool is that? So then you will open them up and you'll press them. I would press them towards the dark, and then I'll show you squaring them up. All right, we are ready to square up. I have pressed my units. I actually have the dark fabric, which I'm calling the pink fabric, facing my body. And when I look at my ruler, when I can read the ruler, I will lock that ruler in correctly every time. So that means that point is coming right along that seam line. If you lock it in incorrectly, you'll be off by 1/4 inch. So the dark fabric's facing me, and I can read the ruler right now. My first step is I trim just a little bit off, and I'm going to trim here and here. And I'm going to just trim a little bit, making sure that I keep my ruler straight on that seam. It should lock right in. And then I'm just going to pull that little bit of excess fabric away. Then I'm going to slide the ruler. This is going to finish at 1.5. So that means I need to slide the ruler so that I'm on the 2-inch mark. And then I will trim on the opposite side. And voila, I will have a 2-inch unit that will finish at 1.5. You're going to do that until you have 16 of those. Good luck. All right, let's put our pine burr block together. So we have our center square, these triangles around that. That's going to form a square in the square unit. And then you're going to make these as entire triangles and add them to each side. So let me show you how you would do that. You're going to sew this row together right here. Then you're going to sew this set of 3 together. Then this set of 3 will be sewn to the triangle. Remember, when you're sewing the seam, start from this nice solid straight line versus a triangular side. It's easier to line that up. Then you'll have a triangle here. You'll sew this triangle to this already sewn piece, and then join all the corners. So that is your pine burr block. And I just would like to show you a little bit different fabric in the center. You could use some other colors or maybe pick a different piece in the center. And that was one that I picked out of my stash. I thought it added a little bit of flair to the block. Good luck making your pine burr block. This is Jenny from the Sewing Palace in Helena, Montana. I will have a link for the 8 at a time technique from Bloc Loc in the description of the video. We also have it on our website at thesewingpalacebernina.com. This is Jenny from the Sewing Palace. Have a good day. Bye-bye.